Okay, so this is going to be the second reading. We're going to go over Tintern Abbey a little more in depth. I'm going to ask you questions and talk to you about the poem itself, line by line. All right, so first, remember we need to reconnect these to our essential question. All right, how do we define self? What is self? So that's what we're going to focus on. This particular poem is going to tell us how Wordsworth, that's the author, creates a close analysis of the effects the natural world has on a person's sense of self, okay? So you're going to be reading this poem and trying to figure out how nature affects how people see themselves. Okay, so here we go. 5 years have passed, 5 summers, with the length of 5 long winters. And again I hear these waters rolling from their mountain springs with soft inland murmur. Once again I do behold these steep and lofty cliffs that on a wild, secluded scene impress thoughts of more deep seclusion and connect the landscape with the quiet of the sky. The day is come when I again repose here under this dark sycamore and view these plots of cottage ground, these orchard tufts, which at this season with their unripe fruits are clad in one green hue and lose themselves mid groves and copses. All right, so let's go back up to lines 1 through 8. It says, mark words that repeat the consonant sounds M, S, and I. Okay, so you're going to go through here. You're going to find all the consonant sounds M, S, and I. Okay, this has a good right? Years, some, length, long, right? These waters rolling, because you got the L right here, mountain. Okay, you see the point? Now, why does the poet, which is Wordsworth, why does he use these repeated sounds? And in what ways do these sound qualities of the lines add to the mood, and meaning of the opening scene? All right, so you need to answer that. Here, under this dark sycamore, and view these plots of cottage ground, these orchard tufts, which at this season, with their unripe fruits, are clad in one green hue, and lose themselves mid groves and copses. Once again I see these hedgerows, hardly hedgerows, little lines of supportive wood run wild, these pastoral farms green to the very door, and wreaths of smoke sent up in silence from among the trees. What kind of environment is he painting, right? He's talking about orchards and cottages and a beautiful dark sycamore, okay? He is talking about one green hue, so it's really green and misty. He sees hedgerows. What are hedgerows? You don't know? How about you look them up? So you should look them up. Sportive wood run wild. There's like little vines and things. There's lots of pastures. Not pastors, pastures. Pastors are people that preach. Pastures are places where animals eat. Green, right? Green to the very door. Do you get this beautiful image that he's painting for us? Okay. With some uncertain notice, as might seem, a vagrant, so you might want to look up what vagrant is, dwellers in the houseless woods, or of some hermit's cave, where by his fire the hermit sits alone. Sounds peaceful. These beauteous forms through a long absence have not been to me as is a landscape to a blind man's eye. So what he's saying is, I still recognize the place, right? Like, even though I haven't been here in 5 years, right? 5 winters, 5 summers, I still remember it like it was yesterday, okay? But oft in lonely rooms and mid the din of towns and cities, I have owed to them in hours of weariness, sensations sweet, felt in the blood and felt along the heart. So right here, okay, he is saying, so even though I haven't been here, a long absence, it has not been to me a landscape to a blind man's eye. So I still remember exactly what it looks like. And it says often, that's like oft, in lonely rooms, he found himself in cities and towns and everything. He is owed to them. Who is them? He's owed to his beautiful memories of this place that he is remembering and he's at right now. It sparked him life, right? He remembered nature and it brought him back to reality. Okay? It says right here, and passing even into my pure mind with tranquil restoration. So just the thought of this place brought him tranquil restoration, feelings too of unremembered pleasure. So it just brought him peace and love and happiness. Such perhaps as have no slight or trivial influence on that best portion of a good man's life, his little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and of love. Nor less I trust to them that I may have owed another gift of aspect more sublime. If you guys don't know what these are, look them up. That blessed mood in which the burden of the mystery, okay, it's just a funky way to say it, in which the heavy and the weary weight of all intelligible world is lighted. That serene, right, that's peaceful, and blessed mood in which the affections gently lead us on until the breath of this corporeal, okay, frame of body and even the motion of our human blood. Almost suspended, we are laid asleep in body and become a living soul. While we were an eye made quiet by the power of harmony and the deep power of joy, we see into the life of things. All right, so we're going to go back up to line 36, right here. To what is the speaker referring to in line 36 when he mentions another gift? Okay, that this scene of Tintern Abbey has bestowed upon him. All right, so what's the other gift that this place has brought him? All right, let's go back down here. If this be but a vain belief, yet, oh, how oft, in dark and amid the many shapes of joyless daylight, when the fretful stir, unprofitable, and the fever of the world have hung upon the beatings of my heart. So 49 to 57, you need to mark the details that show the speaker is addressing or describing the river as though it is a person, right? Personification, okay? And then answer, why does the speaker personify the river or speak to and of it in human terms? Finally, how does the use of this personification suggest the intensity of the speaker's feelings? So these are all things that you need to answer when you're going back through. Next, I'm going to go to line 107 because I can't upload a video that's too long. It keeps kicking me off. All right, so I'm going to read 107 to 111. 107. So 103. Therefore, am I still a lover of the meadows and the woods and mountains, and of all that we behold from this green earth, of all the mighty world of eye and ear, both what they half create and what perceive, well pleased to recognize in nature and the language of the sense, the anchor of my purest thoughts, the nurse, the guide, the guardian of my heart and soul, of all my moral being. Okay, so in lines 107 to 111, mark all the words that characterize the various roles that nature and the language of the senses play in the speaker's life. I kind of highlighted them for you as we went through. Why does the speaker use different terms to refer to the same thing? And what is the effect of these varied references? Okay, so I want you guys to think about that. Think about what those, if these were humans, if these were people, right? What is the definition of their jobs? What do they do? What do they provide? Okay, and then if he is calling nature this and those memories, those things, what does that say about his connection with nature? So those are the two things that you need to focus on through that. So we're gonna finish this on your own. You have the book in your digital textbook or your hard copy.